But yeah, so Snow White. I want to pull up the picture of the Daily Wire's Snow White, which they can't use the dwarfs because that is one of the only things that the dwarfs
To be fair,
name.
neither are Disney.
Right? Does Disney not own? They don't own the rights to the story. I read that they own the rights to just the names of the dwarfs or something.
Yeah, but they're not using the dwarfs because remember, you can't have small people in your movie anymore.
Right.
Not
well, they have
after
one.
Dinklage.
They have one of them. Damn it, Peter Dinklage, you bastard!
Well,
he gatekeeped everyone.
Yes.
Everyone out and made sure he was the only little person that could be employed.
Yes. That's what I say. It's always self-interest. This would have been 7 new people. Could have been a major movie. He didn't know that it was going to go like this. And he's like, every single dwarf that gets a role is another threat because there's very limited roles for me. And so what am I going to do? And my favorite thing was the jokes, though. Everyone was like, he pulls up the ladder behind him, the step ladder. It was like, there were so many.
Real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone. Yeah, and it's funny because if you think about it, like, think about Warwick Davis. That little bastard is every little person in almost everything that's, especially on UK side, right? I mean, he was like 3 different characters in Harry Potter. Yes. He's the little dude with the sword at the bank. He's also 2 of the teachers and some shit. Like, he was in everything. And he's also the leprechaun. Great movies. I love all the leprechaun movies because they're so terrible. I love them. And Peter Dinklage is trying to take that over. He wants to be everybody in every movie, every little guy. It's not fair for the other.
I think he has.
He has,
like,
yeah.
He's like the biggest name at the moment. He's probably the first one people think of.
Yeah. Warwick Davis and Peter Dinklage. There was another guy in like the 80s and 90s, and he was in everything. I think he might actually he was in the first that movie that they made a show of. It was terrible. What was that movie? What's that show called?
Is that what you
Willow. Mean? Yeah, there was a lot of little people in the Willow movie, and there was like this little dude that has like a goatee. And he's like dark complected, and he's like in every. He was like every little person in every movie for like years in the 80s and 90s. And I forget his name. Somebody could probably bring up his name in the chat, and I would remember it. But he was the only other one I can think of.
There was a scene in the Willow TV show where they go to like his home, and there's just like 30 little people all over the place. Like the recruitment for that, like I don't know whether there's like specialist recruitment or anything you can go to, but look, I know loads of people hate Willow. Willow's still one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Completely unironically. The behind the scenes was amazing. I've never got more sympathy than when that got cancelled. I had messages for days. Are you okay?
Yeah. Wait, so they had 30 little people in Willow, and that's not racist, but they can't have like 7 of them?
Well, it was
Snow White.
His sort of race in there is just all small people. So when you go to their little village, then there's all over the place.
So, but the dwarfs are dwarfs. That's their race, kind of. I think they're like little dudes, but they can't be little. It's so weird.
Well, that's what I hate about the snow. That's what I hate about Dinklage's argument, right? Because he said, I thought we'd move past like dwarves living in caves. It's like they don't live in caves; they live in a house. I don't know what your problem is. But he's playing a language game. That how we use dwarf in reality isn't dwarf in Snow White. It's actually a legitimate fantasy creature. It's not the same. But he's it's discrimination. It's one of those things. It's so basic. I think everyone sees through it.
Yeah.
But if it's beneficial to people, they just use it and pretend they don't know.
Yep. Like you said, it's all self-interest. This is the Daily Wire Snow White with old Brett Cooper. And as you can see, she's white as hell and has black hair. And she's actually doing all the singing parts, apparently, in the movie. And from the trailer, she actually sounds pretty decent. She doesn't sound terrible or anything. Because she's actually singing in this goofy trailer right here. And you can, it just looks nice. It looks all fairy tale-y, and there's like deers and shit walking around. You know?
Yeah, and compare any of the shots from this to what we saw of the Disney one.
Yeah, exactly. Look, a squirrel. Beautiful
I mean, you win
squirrel.
me over the moment you show a squirrel, so.
Yeah. It just looks like mythical and nice and cuddly, and I'm not getting yelled at, you know. And then also they interviewed her, and she's like, "I was raised on original Grimm's fairy tales. I'm so excited. Snow White's so amazing. It's so great." And it's such a contrast to like Zegler being like, "Yeah, the original movie's terrible, and I hate it. And it creeps me out, and I hate men, and I hate you." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
But that was the interesting thing about her interviews, because she said both. She said, "I grew up with this. It was so amazing. I loved it. It's meant so much to me as a child." And then she's like, "I've only seen it once, and I got scared and never watched it again." Like, at least get your story straight.
It's like you can't have both.
It's one of the issues with like Hollywood in general. It's like, if you're gonna lie to me, at least give me the benefit of assuming. Like, do a good job of it. Don't assume I'm an idiot and treat me like one. At least lie to me properly, and I might respect you a bit. But until then, I'm just going, oh, please. Just piss off.
Yeah.
I'll treat you the same way you treat me.